Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm back again with another Shiv Savings video, and today we're talking YNAB. We're talking 5 things that I wish I knew when I started YNAB, and this is by all means not a beginner's like how to start YNAB kind of video. This is 5 things that I didn't see in a lot of videos or that they don't point out when you're starting YNAB that are very, very helpful, because there have been a couple of months where my budget was just not right and I didn't know what was going on, and these were 5 things that helped me get back my budget. These are 5 things that helped my budget get back on track and made it a lot easier for me to understand YNAB and use it to its full potential. And before we get into this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share it with somebody else you know, and don't forget to hit that bell notification so you get notified every time I post a new video. Wow, there's so many things, you guys. Hit all of them because I have to say it every video. Come on. First tip I have if you're starting out YNAB is to set a checking account baseline. So if you are like me and you would like to have a certain minimum in your checking account or your main account, whichever account is basically paying for the rest of your things or your money is going into, make sure that you set a baseline item on your budget for your checking account or your main account, whatever it may be. And so for example, if I wanted to have $500 as a baseline in my checking account, my main account that everything goes in and out of, I want to add a line when I first start YNAB that has $500 already allocated to it. And this is because when you start YNAB, every single dollar that you have has to be accounted for. So if you don't account those $500 to be in your baseline of your checking account, then that $500 you could just end up putting it somewhere else on your budget. And then when it comes time to pay things off, you'll start to notice that your main account is dwindling. And it happened to me and it scared me because I was like, what is going on? I thought I budgeted everything, but I had budgeted literally everything, and thus I didn't have that money for my baseline. Tip 2 when you're starting YNAB is to manually input all of your accounts. Do not link your accounts automatically, and that is because the point of YNAB is to account for every single dollar. I think I'm going to say that like 20 times in this video. Take a shot every time I say every single dollar is accounted for in this video. Let me know how many times I say it. Yes, so you want to account for every single dollar, and so linking your accounts and having things go in and out automatically is not going to allow you to see every single dollar. One, it's also not safe to link your accounts to multiple different places, different apps and things like that. So just a risk factor with linking your accounts. And then second, again, is to account for every single dollar. So you want to know what is going in, what is going out at any given moment. And this has helped so much because every time I make an expense, I can already tell, I'm like, crap, this is $20 that I overspent it. I need to go allocate it from something else in my budget, and I immediately have to do it when I input that information. Tip number 3 when you're starting YNAB is to set goals. There's a couple of different ways that you can set goals within YNAB, and they're actually so helpful. 1 is a needed for spending. 2, I think, is a target savings balance, and then 3 is a monthly savings builder. So the way you could use any of these, for example, if I wanted to save $5,000 by December, I could put it in as a target savings balance of $5,000 and set the month for December, and it automatically does the math for you. So every month it's going to show you like a yellow thing, and I'll share my screen and I'll show it somewhere on the screen at this moment, and it'll show like a yellow clock letting you know that you didn't fulfill this month's goal. So example, if I did need to, I think right now what I'm doing is like $900 towards December, and so every month automatically it's telling me to save $75 each month in order to reach that $900 by December. So yeah, that target savings balance is going to be very helpful if you're doing sinking funds. If you're trying to save towards a goal and you have an end date, there's also a monthly savings builder, and that is to save certain amounts but not towards an end goal. So if you don't have like an end date for this, but you need to save $100 each month regardless, then that would be like a monthly thing. And then you also have the needed for spending, which is just things that you're going to spend automatically each month. Tip number 4 when starting YNAB is to put your credit card at the very top of your budget and go ahead and allocate whatever you currently may have as your credit card payment towards that credit card line, because in YNAB, whenever you're adding any activity for a credit card, it's automatically going to add to the activity, but during your first couple of months, it's not allocating for whatever you may not have paid for already. So If you started in March but you didn't pay for the items that you spent in February because your credit card payment is a little bit later, then you need to allocate for some of those February expenses that you made in order for it to kind of catch up. And it does take a little while to even out, but a good way for you to check out if it's correct is to go to the actual credit card account, and there's going to be a number at the very top right that says payment, and that will be the number that should match with what you actually have on your credit card statement. So sometimes that number that you have on that credit card line on your budget is not going to be accurate, and this is why you want to try and account for it, because I, for example, didn't account for it the first month that I had YNAB, and I ended up having to pull money out of other places because I didn't allocate that money in my budget for what I had spent previous to when I started YNAB. And so because of that, I was feeling a little broke that first month of YNAB. You basically want to start the next month with the remaining balance that you have on your credit card. Because a lot of us don't pay our credit card statements on the 1st or the 31st, it's going to have a little bit of fluctuation since YNAB is on a monthly system. So for example, if your credit card statement goes out and you pay your bill on the 25th, then those 5 days, the 25th to the end of the month, you want to make sure that you add that amount into your next month's budget as an allocation. Everything else is going to be an activity and it's going to go ahead and add towards your payment, but that will take a second to even out, and that's why you want to make sure that you allocate that money in there. And tip number 5 is that YNAB is a mindset shift. It's going from budgeting what you think to budgeting what you actually have. So a lot of people, when they're budgeting, they'll be like, I only want to spend $200 towards food this month. Well, in YNAB, you're allocating whatever money you have. So if you haven't gotten paid that month and you don't have that money, you're not allocating $200 towards anything because you don't have that money yet. So that when that Friday comes around and you get your paycheck, you really have to allocate things wisely, because you're basically doing it for the next 2 weeks or whatever you're going to spend in the next 2 weeks, or however soon you're gonna get paid after that. And that is why YNAB is such a mindset shift, because it's going from, oh, maybe what I could do, to this is actually what I'm gonna be able to do this month. And it is a challenge, but it's realistic. It's actually going to tell you to think about the purchases you make throughout the month. And also, when you're at the beginning of the month and you notice that, oh, I already spent $200 on groceries and I need to go to the grocery store one more time, you'll be able to better gauge how to spend your money throughout the month afterwards, because you want to make sure that you have some left over for the rest of the month. If you spend your $200 for groceries in the first week, what are you gonna do? You don't have extra money that's just sitting around, and you don't want to be like, oh, maybe I'll just take some from somewhere else. You can do that within YNAB, but again, you have to have that extra money allocated. And then a last final bonus tip that I have is that in order to save some extra coins, because that's what I'm always trying to do, it's Shiv Savings here, you can actually share accounts, your YNAB account with someone else. So YNAB is a tool that you have to pay for, or a subscription that you have to pay for. But you could have multiple budgets on one account. So if you are close with a family member or someone who you're okay with being able to see your finances, then you can share your account and you guys can split that bill so you're not paying full for that YNAB subscription. Hacks, man. So yeah, I hope this video has been helpful. These are 5 things that I wish I knew when I was starting YNAB and that have helped me throughout the course of my time using YNAB and trying to get accustomed to it, and I hope that helps you guys too. And I also have some links down below to YNAB if you want to get started. Definitely recommend starting YNAB if you are getting serious about your budget. Hope you guys have a good one, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye guys.